highlight the fact that miracles can and do happen. And certainly, when you look at the interactions that have happened, particularly in South America, many contactees that have actually had contact situations with human-type ETs, they've actually said, being sort of a country with a high Catholic population, they've actually said to these human-type ETs, are you aware of Jesus? And many of them have said, yes, we are aware of him, but he is a divine, holy being, not an extraterrestrial, which is interesting. Now, these are photographs that I took of the shroud. This was in 2006 in the cathedral. Normally, the right-hand side would be above that, vertically, sorry. But again, the more you look at that, the more you realize you're looking actually at a photograph of a body. It's very clear, including all the marks, etc. on it. Now, for me, talking of the interaction of a holy being, a divine being, incarnate, rather than an extraterrestrial physical interaction, I think this would also apply to other worlds as well. So it's not just on planet Earth where we have these interactions, ET, divine and angelic as well, which I'll talk about in a second, but on other worlds too. It's becoming very clear that the universe is teeming in life. We have many different races of ET visiting us, advanced civilizations. The extrasolar planetary count now is up to like 3,500 other planets have been discovered in the close neighborhood. As you well know, just within the last few weeks, 7 rocky worlds around one star alone, about 40 light years away. So I feel that the universe will be full of life, from microbiological, certainly, but up through advanced civilizations. If there are other worlds like this, where we have war, strife, deception, lies, fear, sadness, and things that go on this world, you will have divine souls that incarnate into those worlds to try and help people. You will also have angels that are there to try and help those souls on a soul journey rather than a physical journey. And this is very much what Monsignor Corrado Balducci of the Vatican Commission that was looking into the UFO and ET reality also said. He said it's important that people realize that ETs are like us. They're physical, you can touch them, but that there is also a spiritual reality too. Excuse me. Now, Monsignor Corrado Balducci was a leading theologian in the Vatican, and he was also, interesting enough, one of their expert exorcist priests as well. He spoke out openly on Italian mainstream TV, the same as our mainstream TVs in this country, about the fact that he was on this Vatican Commission looking into extraterrestrial encounters. In 1997, he was interviewed by the cultural anthropologist and ufologist Michael Hessman, where he advised that the Vatican was receiving much information about extraterrestrials and their contacts with humans from their papal ambassadors in various countries such as Chile, Mexico, and Venezuela. There's been a huge amount of interactions in South America. Father Balducci said that he was on the Vatican Commission looking into extraterrestrial encounters and how to cope with the emerging awareness of the reality of extraterrestrial contact. Now, in August of 1998, he said, this was on the front page of a British newspaper, actually, this. He actually said, "Is it reasonable to believe and affirm that extraterrestrials exist? Their existence can no longer be denied, for there is too much evidence for the existence of extraterrestrials and flying saucers." He also made reference to the angels while being interviewed by Michael Hessman in 1997, when he said, "We know with certainty of the existence of God, of the angels, and of us. The angels, God's messengers, have always concerned themselves with humanity, and it is certain they are still doing this today. Each human being has his or her own guardian angel that follows him or her everywhere. Thus, the angels help humans to better themselves, wholly affecting us through inspiration. There are visible appearances of angels." Now, the more you look into the subject, there have been interactions, again, as I say, with angelic beings through the whole of human history. They're certainly mentioned in most of the major religions, from Christianity to Islam to Judaism. In fact, there's over 600 references to angels in the Bible alone. But again, there's no definitive description, because it seems that the interactions that happen are very relevant to the individual. People have seen them either with wings or without wings. They've seen them in dreams and visions, or actually in the physical. But it seems that these interactions are always at a pivotal moment within a person's life, and it'll be either as a way of protecting them, guiding them, almost particularly at the point of death when the soul leaves the body, is when people become aware of angels as well. So this, unlike the physical aspects of ET interactions, this seems to be very relevant to the soul and the soul journey and soul evolution, these angelic interactions. There's certainly reference to the archangels, which are these incredibly powerful beings. In a biblical sense, the Archangel Michael is known as the archangel that had this great battle in heaven with the forces of darkness, the sort of battle between the light and the dark, between good and evil, and he actually cast the serpent or the dragon down to earth. Now, once again, whether this is reference to the reptilian aspect is an interesting point. But certainly Archangel Michael is regarded as a protector of people having their own battles with dark forces, or is there to help lost souls or ghosts. And a lot of people who are doing healings often call on the help of Archangel Michael as well.
Stay with us. Stay with us.
Ladies and gents, I give you the love, beloved. Y'all don't wanna hear me, you just wanna dance. Don't want to meet your daddy. Just want you in my caddy. Don't want to meet your mama. Just want to make you. I'm just being honest.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky when I'm surrounded and they're closing in? When I feel the bullets graze against my skin, this world's a war zone, but I've got a shield. I won't surrender, 'cause your love feels like an army of angels.
This is you?
Yeah.
This person in this picture is you.
Yeah. But I'm in the Bible, if that means anything.
Are you telling me that you guys exist?
Yes.
Like an army of angels, like an army of angels, like an army of angels, like an army of angels. Hey, hey. hate is poison, then love's the cure. And it's you that drives the demons from my door. When they got me cornered, close to giving in, oh, I feel you around me like a second skin. This world's a war zone, but I've got a shield. I won't surrender, 'cause your love feels like an army of angels, 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 angels.
To the flames and the fire, I will go. 'Cause I know, yeah, I know that I'm not alone. To the flames and the fire, I will go. 'Cause I know, yeah, I know that I'm not alone.
Oh, what a beautiful sight. Oh, 100,000 soldiers in the sky. Oh, I don't need to worry tonight with you by my side. Yeah, like an army of angels, 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 like an army of angels, like an army of angels. 'Cause I know, yeah, I know that I'm not alone. Like an army of angels, like an army of
'Cause I know, yeah, I know that I'm not alone.
But what is interesting is, he said, via the CIA's covert remote viewing operations, David Morehouse also stated that all the members of the unit were aware of other races and species of extraterrestrials, many of whom were more advanced than us. He said, however, through all the trials, tribulations, and retaliations against him and his family from the CIA for trying to get this information to the world, he says that he was actually saved by his angel, who helped him and who he refers to many times in the book. This is actually an illustration by David from 1994 at the point that he was basically, the CIA were trying to destroy him and his family. He was suicidal. And he said at that point, he was actually saved by his angel as he was a torn and broken man and taken to a place of rest and healing. It was that interaction that made him very definite about the fact he needed to get this information to the world, which is why he then compiled the book that you just saw, Psychic Warrior. Now, if we are to look again at the spiritual reality and understand the angelic interactions, that certainly applies when you look at the near-death experiences as well, NDEs. Again, I'm sure many of you are familiar with that here. Lots of researchers have looked into that, but certainly one of the leading researchers was Dr. Raymond Moody, who in the early 1970s was working as a doctor at the accident and emergency wards in America in a hospital. And over a period of time, as people would clinically die, but then were revived afterwards, they would often talk about the fact that the soul would leave the body once they'd actually died. Again, there are references to this, could just be the oxygen deprivation, etc. But the more that he studied it, he began to realize, no, there's so much more to this. The soul would leave the body. It could look down on what was going on. It could talk about when they returned, They would talk about what was happening to them surgically, and he said there's no way could they know that. They were supposed to be dead. Even more than that, the souls would often go to other rooms or wards within a hospital, and they could talk about what was happening there. And upon research, he found that it actually was happening. So it showed that the soul was away from the body. And then most people that he spoke to then had that experience where they started to see the tunnel and a beam of light, and they were drawn into the light. And when they moved into the light, which they felt was beautiful, like a heaven realm, they were either met by their loved ones that had passed over previously to welcome them, or angels, these beings of light that were actually there to welcome them into heaven. Now, what is fascinating is, a lot of these, they felt they were actually, when they returned, they felt they were actually asked to return the soul back into the body, or they wanted to return because they felt they still had unfinished business once they returned. So, but as the studies that he did, the more that he looked into this, he realized that this must be real, because it didn't matter what religion a person was from or whether they were even skeptical to the subject, they were still having these experiences. Something like 98% of people he spoke to about this all had that same experience. So he felt that was what literally happened when the soul left the body. Now, over the years, I've researched a lot of these subjects. I've spoken, hundreds of lectures to sort of community groups and professional organisations to try and raise awareness of these various subjects, from UFOs and ETs to crop formations, but also the Shroud and Angels. Now, what has amazed me is that the more that you talk about this subject, people, you'll find there are many people that have had experiences. As we all know, a lot of times people don't want to talk about it because of the fear of ridicule or debunking. But if they're in a supportive environment, people start to talk about it. I guarantee there'll be people in here as well that have had experiences of angels. So what I want to do, some of these people that spoke to me about their experiences, I just want to highlight just a few here to show again that this is very much about the soul, really. One of them is a classic. This lady spoke to me. She said in 2004, a lady had been to a conference in central London. After taking the train late at night to another area of the city, she had a long walk in the dark to her car. She said she was nervous and asked that the angels would be with her to protect her. She then instantly saw, next to her own shadow on the ground, cast by a single street lamp, two new shadows appear, one on either side of her. Looking behind her, she saw there was no one else there. She then had an overwhelming sense of peace and felt that the shadows were cast by the angels helping her. In 2005, there was a lady that I knew who worked in a cancer clinic in a major city, and she told me about one case of the many angelic appearances she was aware of that had happened to terminally ill patients and their loved ones. This involved a man who was sadly on his deathbed, and his wife was there as he was dying. The man said to his wife that he could see an angel in light at the foot of the bed who had come to meet him. Now, this lady said that it seemed a particularly powerful testimony because his wife said that her husband was normally very skeptical about this subject. In March 2006, there was a program on UK television about bereavement and its effect on people concerned. One of the accounts in the program was of an 8-year-old child who died of leukemia. And just as he was dying, he sat up and whispered to his mother, who was by his side, "Angel." She said, "Can you see an angel?" He said, "2 of them," and then he actually passed away, literally, after that point. This incident helped his mother greatly as she had to deal with the bereavement and loss of her young son. I also spoke to another lady who in 1999 said she actually fell asleep behind the wheel of a car while driving. She had just been to see her husband in hospital and was concerned and very tired. As she fell asleep, the car drifted onto the verge and was going to crash. She then felt a presence on the back seat and a voice said, "It's okay, just keep going straight, you'll be all right." She felt very peaceful and was able to calmly drive the car back onto the road. She looked into her rear-view mirror and saw a figure sitting behind her in the supposedly empty car. She said she knew it was her guardian angel and he had saved her. And then this one here. Over the years, countless people who believe they've had an angelic experience or feelings of protection have said they've come across a small white feather that appeared inexplicably, as if to acknowledge that they'd really been in the presence of an angel. One case involved a lady in 2008 who said that her husband had just died in hospital in Somerset in the UK. She and her family had gone to the hospital, driving through thick fog to get there. As they stood around the bed, they all noticed a white feather on her husband's chest, on his pyjamas by his heart, and said that it hadn't been there previously, literally previously. Simultaneously, the fog seemed to clear outside, and a shaft of sunlight shone through the window and shone onto his face. Her daughter was so affected by this event that it actually changed her view of life, and she kept the feather in a cutting of his pajamas because of that. When his wife visited his grave for the first time, there was another white feather on it, which she showed to me from her purse. This also gave her great courage and helped with her grief, but also with a belief that the soul goes on after death and that her husband was okay, which was an amazing event. Now, in a way to sort of highlight that, I use this beautiful stained glass window, which sort of shows that event in effect, where the person is dying, the soul is about to leave the body, you've got the loved one, the grieving loved one next to them, but then the light, the holy light appears, and you've got the angels present there to welcome that soul or guide that soul into heaven. And looking back at the NDE experiences, like I say, most of the people that had NDE experiences they said that on the other side is beautiful. It really is unbelievable, as you would imagine heaven, whereas there is something wrong here on this dimension. There's something wrong, and they all felt that same thing.
requirement. You know, it's all about love. I just have to do this next song. It's just a requirement. I just have to do this next song. It's just a requirement. I just have to do this next song. It's just a requirement. And to me, music and love are the same things. So, and if our kids grow up with music in their lives, there's no question that they're always all right? But I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. I will always love you. Darling, I love you. Bittersweet memories, that is all I am taking with me. So goodbye. Goodbye. But please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need. And I
love you. Darling, I love you. Oh, I'll always. Love
Stay with us. Stay with us.